Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Roumel, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to Popternative. This is the talk show and podcast where we have digital discussions, the worlds of TV, film, news, sports, lifestyle, music, everything really depending on a guest. We talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Roumel. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. My guest took the world by storm, playing young Georgia and Ginny Georgia on Netflix. Nikki Roumel is with us. Nikki, welcome to Popternative.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm really happy we're able to do this. And It's funny because we talk about it a lot. We do have the same last name.
We do, and our dads know each other.
Yes, which is amazing. And thanks so much for doing this. I'm really excited. I mean, I do want to, before we get into the show, when did you decide that acting and storytelling was something you wanted to do? Was it early on for you?
I was about 8 years old. I was really shy growing up, like extremely shy. And my cousin got into it, and I wanted to be just like her. So at 12, my parents were like, if you get yourself an agent, we'll drive you to auditions, not thinking I would. And then, of course, I got myself an agent, and then here I am.
And there were rumblings, like a lot of your family and friends knew about Ginny and Georgia for a while, you know what I mean? They knew that you were working on it, right? But it was kind of a tale of two storms, so to speak, right? It was kind of like the announcements were exciting, and then it dropped for the world.
Yeah, it's been so surreal.
It's been crazy. And as it also hits you that it's like a global reception as well. Like people from all over the world are loving your portrayal as young Georgia and Ginny and Georgia.
Yeah, it hasn't really hit me yet. People are like reaching out, and I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to like reach everybody, and like it's just been so amazing.
Absolutely. When you kind of were preparing for a role, like, well, first of all, I love it because you know this too. I mean, flashbacks are a huge part of shows right now.
Definitely.
And this was a flashback, and this was a powerful flashback. Like, this is where we're kind of discovering the roots of Georgia, what she's kind of going through and everything, right? So how did you prepare for a role like this?
Okay, so I did a lot of research watching Brienne, who plays Georgia.
Yeah.
I watched everything she was in, and I'm also a fan of hers, so it was so much fun to be able to like portray like her, like a version of her character. And I mean, so I watched that, and then I did a lot of like character development and talked to Sarah a lot, the creator, and Deb, the showrunner, and really got into the depth of it. And we started with like physicality, like our hair color. I had to dye my hair blonde, and of course the accent.
Well, you both, like, I'm sure you get this a lot, like, you both look pretty similar.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
It works, right?
It works. It so works.
There was a lot of, like, intense scenes that you had to do in this show, though.
A lot.
Yeah, like, there was a lot of intense kind of scenes and certain things that she says, young Georgia. I mean, when you're kind of, like, preparing for that, like you said, research and everything, but it's very real, a lot of what she says and what she goes through. What was that whole kind of experience like playing young Georgia?
I mean, it was so surreal booking it, because at first, even auditioning for it, I was like, I really, really want this part. This is so cool, because I'm so used to going out for like cheerleader role or like girl next door, which I love too. I love, but you know, and then when you get like a really depthful role like this, it was so fun to dive into and really just give it my all.
Was there a kind of cool story? Like, what was the reception been like from your family? Like, we talked about, like, your family. Like, what was that? What have they been with seeing everything? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, they're all really shocked. Shocked to see that. They're like, but you're not, like, smiling in it, and you always smile. And I'm like, I know, but, like, it's so different from who I am. It's much edgier, and it's very, very vulnerable, which I could relate to in some ways.
But those scenes, like, some of the, like, I go on TikTok sometimes, and I'm not, like, I'm on TikTok, but I'm not on TikTok, if you know what that means.
Me too.
Yeah, like, I don't, like, post on TikTok, but I have a TikTok, and I, like, watch stuff. Some of the clips from, like, the young Georgia scenes are, like, making its rounds on TikTok.
I know, it's crazy. Like, scrolling through, and I'll see myself, and I'm like, that's just so, like, that doesn't happen.
It's crazy. And, you know, I do want to mention this. You are Canadian. You are from Canada.
Yeah.
And How cool is it that this show, it's on Netflix, it's global and everything, but this show was shot in Toronto, has a lot of cool Canadian actors in this, which is amazing as well. Putting Canada on the map a little bit. Canada.
It really is. I mean, it's like, I don't think any of us expected it to end up like this and reach such a wide amount of people, but it's been so amazing, and to have that opportunity to reach people around the world is crazy.
Absolutely. This show, is a drama, has some comedy in it. There's a lot of that as well, but it gets really serious, and there's a lot of amazing, incredible, like impactful, like dialogue and performances by the whole cast in this. It's just amazing. Would you say this was like an ideal project that you want to work on, like genre wise? Like what are your go-to genres you like working in as a storyteller?
100%. I mean, really drama and getting in that and really feeling like sitting with the character and doing the character development is something that's so important. Yeah. I would love to do like action one day, but I got to do a little bit, which was so much fun. But yeah, it was so fun to do.
Yeah, you got to do a little bit of the action for people.
I got to do a little bit.
Two-part question. The scenes of the young Georgia storyline, but then Ginny and Georgia as like in general, right?
Yeah.
You're hoping that people watch it and they enjoy it and they tell their friends and their family about it. But diving more deep into it, what are you hoping they get out of the show when they watch it? From like two-part questions, from the young Georgia storyline and then the show in general. What do you hope they get out of it, Nikki?
I mean, honestly, I hope they're able to relate with it one way or another and really see like a portrayal of themselves in a sense and have characters they can relate to. I think growing up, it's so important to have those characters and know you're not alone in hard times and everything. Mm-hmm. So I really hope that's conveyed through the show.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things too where, the show gets like posted, like put on Netflix, people watch it, but then like a couple of days before, it's like a calm before the storm where like you have like no idea what's going to happen, right? What was that kind of like for you? Those like 2-3 days before?
The wait was painful. Like my whole family and I were like waiting impatiently for it. And we're like, okay, it's going to come out soon. Like people are going to like hopefully really love it, which they have been, which is so amazing. But we would have never expected it to be this big.
And the thing is, like, you go in, and I think we talked about this like last year as well. Like, you go in, you shoot your scenes and everything, right?
Yeah.
And then it's done, and you're kind of playing the waiting game in terms of like, what's going to be used and everything. Because I know like a lot of scenes were shot and everything. There's a lot of young Georgia in Ginny and Georgia. Like, It's awesome.
Yeah, well, okay, when I auditioned for it, I had no idea. Like, I was like, hey, maybe it's like 2 episodes. It says recurring. So, like, it could be 2 or 3 episodes. And then it ended up being 9 episodes, and I got quite a few scenes from it, which I'm forever grateful for. It's been an amazing experience. I had, like, no idea where it was going to go.
Absolutely. Now, people are kind of saying, like people are always going to ask you, like, what's next? What do you kind of want to work on next type thing? You said action or everything. Is it kind of just like enjoying it for a little bit right now and just kind of enjoying the wave? Or like, are you always kind of like thinking about kind of the next steps, the next projects? Like, what's that like for you?
I'm both. Like, I'm working on being very present. So like in the moment and enjoying all this chaos and it is a little chaotic, but it's been so amazing. And so really sitting with that and enjoying it. And then obviously auditioning and looking for the next opportunity is always in mind.
It is. It's crazy as well. Talk a little bit also about, the growth we kind of see with young Georgia as well is just incredible, but it touches on a lot of things. There's kind of a lot of like hidden kind of learning lessons in there as well. Do you think that like when you're kind of preparing for a role like this, you don't realize like, man, like there's a lot going on right now. And there's a lot of things that people are going to be able to take from this, like just these scenes of young Georgia, because it's really impactful, right, Nikki?
Yeah, it really is. Like I had to take a step back and realize, like, look at it as a whole as well. See the growth over the scripts. Like we'd get, 2 scripts at a time, and it would be amazing, like just seeing the growth of the character and learning from her and really, getting that confidence and playing it because it's a flashback role too, like playing it off of Brienne as well.
It's interesting too, because I'm going to ask you kind of the middle person question now. This is the question I ask. I mean, one can make an argument that Ginny Georgia was, the breakthrough role for, Nikki Roumel, right? Like, people saw you for the first time. You've been doing this for a good amount of time, right? But like, because I don't think people realize, like, you've been doing this for a good amount of time too.
For sure.
Yeah. So you're doing this, it kind of gets released, right? And it's interesting because people see you on Ginny and Georgia, and, you're what we call a young up and coming storyteller. You're in this and people want to see you more and everything. You're learning, you're looking up to people as well, right? In the industry. But at the same time, there are people that are kind of watching the show and are be like, I want to maybe one day be in Nikki Roumel's footsteps. Like, that's pretty cool. So you're kind of like an in between, like in the middle type thing, like a middle person. Have you ever thought about that? That's an interesting dynamic.
It's honestly insane. Like, I've had so many friends who wanted to get in oh my God, who wanted to get into the industry, and like, I've been wanting to, like, I'm very passionate about helping them out, like, getting an agent and going through the process, and it just relives memories.
It's crazy. Yeah, your backdrop fell in the back.
My backdrop,
but that's okay. People are gonna love it. I'm wondering, is that gonna be like a TikTok video or a GIF?
Yeah, going down.
Like, when people see it on YouTube, they're just Are you Well, I saw he came in the beginning of the interview too. I have a 5-pound Morkie, and Leo. I think you've seen him, Leo.
I've seen him,
yeah. Yeah, he's just like so much energy all the time, and he thinks he's a big dog. He thinks he's the size of your dog. Which is crazy. Does it blow your mind though? We talked about like the TikTok and everything. Like, does it blow your mind about like all the content, all the posts of like young Georgia that are coming up right now?
It is so insane. Like, all the edits and everything. And I'm like, people are so talented. Like, I look at every single one of them and I'm like,
there's like fan art. I saw there's like fan art.
There's fan art. I mean, I can't draw for the life of me. But I mean, I try, but seeing all these really talented people who want to draw me is just absolutely insane. It's obviously
COVID. There's obviously like not as much interaction with everyone, but what's the kind of interaction been with the casting, like your fellow cast members? Like, have you been talking to anyone? Has anyone been like, oh my God, like young Georgia? Like, what's that kind of been like?
Yeah, well, I've been able to like FaceTime a lot of the cast and crew. We have Sarah, the creator, does like a Mafia night, the game Mafia. So with some of her friends, and she's open invitation to everyone. So some nights we'll do that on Fridays. And I mean, just been keeping in touch with people through virtually game nights and everything, and just been insane.
I know, and it's crazy because your Instagram just kind of has a life of its own right now.
It really does.
So, I mean, you're doing some interviews here and there, but like, have you thought about like are the cast and crew maybe going to do some like Instagram lives down the road and stuff? Like, that could happen. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think Sarah and Tony are actually doing an Instagram live today or tonight. I don't know when this will come out, but
yeah, no, it is awesome. And then finally, we talked about what you hope to get out of it. What were like learning experiences for you specifically playing young Georgia on Ginny and Georgia, Nikki?
Yeah, I learned to be in touch with my emotions a lot more and really feel. I think before, like, I was scared to feel these things. I was scared to feel vulnerable, and I was scared to feel, like all these different emotions. But now I'm actually able to sit with them and really allow myself to feel, and the good of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Nikki, thank you so much for coming on Popternative.
Thanks for having me.
It was great to have my fake cousin on the show.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Oh man, it's all. So people can watch Ginny and Georgia now on Netflix, season 1.
Yes, they can.
And they could. And where can they follow you on social media if they haven't already?
At Nikki Roumel on Instagram.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Nikki Roumel and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.